Shalom. I want to start off by saying, Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Wadash. Double honors unto the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone, the men who rule well and have taught me along my journey in this truth. Continue to teach us day in and day out about the word of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai. A sincere Shalom unto the Akim Wa'akwas who diligently seek out this truth. I'm the brother Thana from the Great Millstone Las Vegas branch, coming, with a quick hit. I'm on my break at the plantation. I just wanted to bring out a quick lesson and say that those of us who aren't already seeking out this knowledge and wisdom, we really need to buckle down, man, and start applying ourselves into this word. Because contrary to belief, this world's coming to an end. Lord will that it gets, this is our last year here. Really, Lord will, this is our last day, but we're just taking it day by day, I want to start off with a precept from the book of Sirach, in Sirach 5 and 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai come forth. And in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance. So yeah, in the day of vengeance, when the Lord comes back and brings chaos into the world via nuclear destruction, where are you gonna be? Because if you're not on this spaceship before it takes off, you're just fuel for the fire. You're gonna be a piece of firewood, man. That's why I can't stress it enough that we need to apply ourselves into this word and build ourselves. We need to be out there doing the works, have good faith as well. Being a good person is not what's gonna get you into the kingdom. Having a lot of money is not what's gonna get you into the kingdom. Having the nicest car and the baddest chick is not what's gonna get you into the kingdom. Having a good name with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, that is what's gonna get you up into the kingdom. That alone, So, with that, and I wanted to bring out another precept. It's from the book of First Thessalonians. First Thessalonians 5 and 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So yeah, travail upon travail is going a labor. You're gonna be feeling that. You're gonna be feeling that pain, man, like a woman in labor, and you shall not escape from it. But ye brethren are not in darkness. Ye brethren, talking about us, those that are diligently seeking out this wisdom and seeking out what's pleasing unto the Lord. For ye brethren are not in darkness, not in confusion, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light. Who's that? We're children of light, the light bearer, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And the children of the day. We are not of the darkness. We are not of the night nor of darkness. So yeah, we're not of that night or darkness, and that darkness is going into confusion, wickedness. We're children of the light. Therefore let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober. Be sober, be clear-minded, be vigilant, all one and the same. So if you're vigilant, sober-minded, clear-headed, when these signs show themselves to you, you're not going to be blind to it. You're not going to be asleep as these others are, because we're diligently seeking out this truth. We're reading through this book day in and day out, and that's how you're going to know the signs. If you're driving along the highway and you're coming across a truck stop in 5 miles and you really need to take a piss, how are you going to know to stop at that truck stop if you don't look and see the sign? And if you don't even have a driver's license, that's one of the thing. That's one of the questions. At least when I took my driver's license test, that was part of the test. That was, uh, what are these signs? What do they look like? What is the color of this sign? You know, uh, what do these signs mean? If you're not reading and studying in His Word, when that sign presents itself to you, how are you gonna know to take out? How are you gonna know to take that exit? How are you gonna know that the speed limit's 45 miles per hour if you don't know what that speed limit sign looks like? Stuff like this, stuff like that. Uh, One moment. What else was I gonna bring out? Those First Thessalonians. Oh, I'm still in it. Slakia. Um, Watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for the helmet, and for a helmet the hope of salvation. So yeah, you gotta have on that full armor. You know, Otherwise, how are you gonna have salvation? How are you gonna obtain your salvation? By just being a good guy, by having a good name with these worldly people, being known for a man that lived a good life and did what he wanted. But did you do what the Lord wanted? That's the real question. That's the real good name that you want. Forget having a good name with this world. That ain't gonna get you nothing. That ain't gonna get you far. It's only gonna get you as far as a missile dropping on your ass, man. Uh, Let me bring out another preset. Oops, lucky. This is again from the book of Sirach. This is Sirach 2:15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. They that fear the Lord will seek which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. So yeah, you seeking out which is well pleasing unto him, that's the knowledge, learning, building up yourself to be able to teach and have good, producing these good fruits. That's what's well pleasing unto him. And the only way to produce these good fruits is by, being feared with the law. And if you don't love him or fear him, neither one of those is going to come your way. You know, especially if it starts with the fear. Uh, fear is the beginning of wisdom. Roughly paraphrasing. So they that fear him shall be filled with the law. And they that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men. For as majesty is, so is his mercy. So yeah, we're gonna fall into the hands of the Lord, not of men, man. Who cares about these men? Don't fear what these men have in store for you. Fear what the Lord has in store for you. That's what's what does it say? Don't fear him that could slack you if I'm butchering it, but so let me just bring it out. One moment. One moment. Bear with me. It's Matthew 10:28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. So yeah, like I said, don't worry about what man's gonna do to you. Worry about what the Lord's gonna do to you. Don't worry about being fucking looked at as a bum because you're living righteously because you got a beard, you got a little scruff going on. When really we're supposed to be having this, man. We're supposed to have beards. We're not supposed to have long hair in our head, you know? Stuff like that. You know, we're not supposed to eat pork. We're not supposed to buy, sell, or trade on the Sabbath. Sleep with our wives on the Sabbath. We're not supposed to be sleeping with other men's wives, you know? And when you tell people, oh, I don't eat pork, or I don't, I got this big beard because the Lord says I have to have this, they look at you like, what the hell's wrong with you, man? You know? But screw them, you know? Let them live how they want to live. Live how the Lord wants you to live. How He wants us to live, you know? Worry about that. Because if you ain't worried about that, you're going to have a whole nother plate of worries to deal with, you know? Let's see. What else? Salakia. You know, let me back that Sirach up. Actually, I'm gonna bring out Philippians 2:12. Yeah, Philippians 2:12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So yeah, like I said, worry about yourself, man. Worry about yourself and work out your salvation with fear and trembling, with the fear of the Lord, man. So if you don't got the fear of the Lord, none of this is going to be possible. Just like when you were a kid, and some of us used to have those dads whoop our asses. I know I did. My dad used to whip my ass. So that in mind, when your dad tells you, hey man, uh the yard's looking a little messy, I want that shit picked up by the time I get home. If you don't fear your father, like you should, you're not gonna get on that yard by the time he gets home. But those that get their ass whipped have the fear in them, you fear you listen to what your father says. So when he says, hey, I need that yard picked up, or I need that room picked up, it's in the back of your head. If I don't have this yard or this room picked up by the time my dad gets home, he's gonna whip my ass. Just like if I'm not doing this work and feeding my brothers, feeding the sheep, and my work's not done by the time my father comes back, he's gonna whip my ass. It's the same. But if you're not afraid of that ass whipping, you're not gonna be prepared, and then you're gonna get the ass whipping in your life. And I got one more, and I'm gonna close it out. It's Proverbs 1:5. A wise man will hear and will increase learning. So like, let me bring this out in another translation. Bear with me one moment. Here it is. Proverbs 1:5. The wise will hear and increase their learning. So yeah, the wise will hear and increase in learning. So when you hear this word and you got the fear of the Lord on you, you're gonna take that word in. You're gonna soak it up. Soak up as much as you can. Because you're in fear of the Lord, you have it in your spirit, And the person of understanding will acquire wise counsel and the skill to steer his course wisely and lead others to the truth. So yeah, when you hear and you're increasing in your learning, you hear the word, it's in your spirit, it sounds good to you. The Lord put it in your spirit and gave you those ears to hear and eyes to see. You're going to increase your learning, and a person of understanding that is soaking in this what they're hearing. Maybe you hear a brother of GMS on YouTube. You hear it, you believe it. Now you're increasing. You're increasing in your learning. But the person that believes it and has understanding of this, and it's in their spirit, maybe instead of going on YouTube now, from YouTube you start asking the questions, and along the way you found out that there's a camp in your city. See, the person of understanding is going to go acquire counseling from that camp, preferably a Great Millstone camp. Once you start going out there, finding that counsel, asking those questions that need to be asked, now you're getting that ball rolling. Now you're acquiring the knowledge and wisdom, from that counseling. For when you get that knowledge and wisdom, you go home and you're studying and you're building yourself up in this word. Now you're getting the skill to steer your course wisely. Now now that skill to steer your course wisely coincides with being able to see these signs that the world's coming to an end. The world, this world really is coming to an end. I really need to start applying myself even more now. I really need to get out and start hitting these streets. If I got it by myself, then I got to do it by myself. You're gonna go out there and feed that flock, so that when the Lord returns, you're counted righteous. That you got your ticket on that ship already purchased. You're ready to go, man. No questions about it. Now, Lord will, it's all we can only hope that even if we're out there doing this work and seeking out our salvation with fear and trembling, we can only say, Lord will, that we're going to be part of that number. But even though we're not sure we're going to be part of that number, we got to do what we can. Let me bring it up. To make our calling and election sure. Salakia. 2 Peter 1, 10 and 11. Wherefore, the rather, brethren, give diligence and make your calling and election sure. If you do these things, you shall never fall. For so an entrance shall be ministered unto you abundantly into the everlasting kingdom of our Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach. So yeah, it says it right there, man. We gotta do what we can when we can, to seal our fate. Yeah, we need to do what we can to seal our fate in this word. To make sure that we are counted as righteous when the Lord comes back. And with that being said, I need to go on and get back to this plantation. Lord willing, Yahweh Ratazah, this is edifying. Just a little something I put together real quick. I just want to say, keep fighting, brothers. Brothers and sisters. Keep fighting, keep studying, keep asking questions. That's all you can do. And once those questions are asked and the Lord puts it in your spirit, go out there and feed the flock. It's a domino effect. All it takes is one brother, and the right doctrine with the correct counsel, of course. So with that being said, Shalom. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham, Kakwadash, Wa Mashana, Kawabadiam, Lahazakwanyam, Shagarawa Rakab, Barakatah. Shalom.